How you doing, Carlos?
What's up, Lee Mac? How you doing today?
Not bad. Not bad.
I feel a little bit refreshed. Got some hours of sleep. Feel good.
Good. Yeah, no, I got a haircut today, much needed.
Nice.
It's been like a month and a half since I got my haircut last, which is just terrible. But I just was busy. Yeah, so this week has been pretty interesting as far as like the stuff that I've been studying and reading about. More CIA stuff, of course, because I ended up finding this one YouTube channel. It's called Eyes Wide Open. Gotta shout him out because he's doing the Lord's work out here trying to piece together all of the history of the CIA. And as far as the resources that I found, Eyes Wide Shut, this YouTube channel, if you guys are listening to this, go check it out. He has broken down so far in 6 episodes. There's episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he broke episode 5 into what is about to be 3 parts. Because he's got part 5.1 and 5.2. I think there's going to be a 5.3, but he just started doing this like a few months ago. So it's not done yet, but the way he organizes the information is so much more concise than any of the other resources that I've found. He's done a very good job. Eyes Wide Open is very good YouTube channel. You guys should check him out. The way he does it, he he'll put a number in the top right corner as you're watching the video while he's talking about something, and that number will correspond to a citation. So everything in his videos is proven, declassified, like the government itself has admitted to it. It's been stuff that's been written about by people that were involved in these things. So none of it is conspiracy theory, BS, crazy talk. It's all stuff that is confirmed and God's honest truth of how the CIA came about. And yeah, I've learned a lot that I didn't know before watching these videos, because I was learning about it like the week prior. And yeah, it's been very, very eye-opening. And the CIA is even more corrupt than I originally realized.
No, I believe you, man. It's kind of funny because like I was telling you, I went to go see the movie Oppenheimer. Or was it
Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer? Yeah, that's how they were saying it. But it tells you, like, they gathered, I don't want to ruin it for you or anyone else, but they basically, they gathered all the, like, the scientists around the world, like the best of the world.
Mostly Nazi scientists.
Yeah, a lot of communists, actually. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And they brought them together, they got what they wanted, and then once they got what they wanted, they literally just trashed them.
Actually, I stand corrected. I just realized that we were building the bomb during World War II, so it wasn't Nazi scientists. We didn't get the Nazi scientists until after World War II, when everything was falling apart and the Nazi regime in Germany was reeling from their defeat. Yeah.
So I always thought, it's funny though. I always thought it was Albert Einstein that created the atomic bomb, but I guess he wasn't. It wasn't him.
No.
He started it.
He definitely contributed a lot. Like E=mc² was a huge
breakthrough.
Yeah, that was a huge contributing factor in the physics of energy and matter.
Yeah, like that was the beginning of how everything started. Yeah, I guess you can say he was the beginning of that. But then Oppenheimer, he was like the father of the atomic bomb. Yeah, that was crazy. That really shocked me, because it just shows how little I know about how all of that happened. And it's kind of sad that we weren't like, that was one of the things they said. It's like, unfortunately, we weren't able to use it on the Nazis.
Yeah,
because that was the whole plan. And yeah, like you guys should go watch it. I mean, you should go watch it. I think you'll like it.
No, I will watch it. I'm looking forward to watching it. I still need to watch what's it called? Sound of Freedom. I still need to watch that.
My buddy told me that one too. He's like, dude, he's like, that movie's depressing. I was like,
yeah,
what?
No,
like, no,
absolutely.
It's fucked up. Like it just shows how much the government doesn't really give a shit about their people. And like, I'm like, dude, that's kind of like the movie I saw. Like, once they get what they need, they like discard of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, same. He's like, yeah, dude, same that movie. Like, there's so many people involved, and it kind of connects a lot of things with like Jeffrey Epstein and all that stuff. And I was like, damn, I should really go watch that movie.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing it. All of the people that I've heard talk about it that have seen it have said that they've cried during the movie and just like how terrible it is, because there's a lot of the security surveillance footage in that movie, because there's surveillance footage in the movie of kids getting abducted. It's all real footage of like the moment children are abducted for that purpose. And
sad.
yeah, it's very sad. And it's insane, the stuff that goes on, the evil that is perpetrated in the world, really, not even just this country, because every country is doing it.
Oh yeah,
every country is involved in those types of things.
Have you seen Taken?
Yeah, that. But
I mean, I'm not putting it like as in that phrase.
Well,
but
yeah,
saying, like,
but
it's
the same thing. That is what happens. But it's mostly, it's not in Taken. She was like 16, 17. It's a lot of little kids, like 5, 6. Like even they have like breeding centers
that's just disgusting,
to breed children for the purpose of trafficking, or even for organ selling, harvesting. Like that is a thing that happens. It's really messed up to talk about and think about and imagine that that's a thing that happens. But, you know, covering our eyes and ears to the fact that it happens isn't going to stop it from happening. And that's what they want. That's what they want you to do. They want you to pretend it doesn't happen because your own little pretty delusion of what the world is like is comfortable for you.
Exactly.
Which just makes it easier for them.
And for yourself too.
Yeah. It makes it easier for you until like, that's why I hate the saying ignorance is bliss. Because it's really not. It's bliss until it isn't. Until you get slapped in the face by your own ignorance. By the consequences of your ignorance.
Speaking about the CIA, sorry to cut you off, but I was watching actually a YouTube video, like just random facts or like random conspiracies. So apparently, you know how the like Hollywood, big influence on propaganda or like big influence on like mind control, you know, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So the CIA actually, before any movie in Hollywood comes out, this was what they were saying, like you know how we see like war movies, you know, the Tom Cruise one, like stuff like that, you know, when they get like Top Gun. Apparently, if they're gonna use government, you know, like locations, facilities, property, they have to run it by the CIA or FBI before they even start filming. And the CIA has to be like, okay, yeah, you can use it, but we don't like how you portray or how you put the U.S. looking like this. You got to tweak it this way, make it look this way. You can't do this. You can't say this. You can't do that.
Yeah.
If you're going to use our stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's why I think, what was it? The guy from Sound of Freedom. What's his name?
Tim Caviezel or Jim Caviezel?
Him, and then also the other actor.
Jim Caviezel is the actor, and then Tim Ballard is the guy that actually did it. But I can't remember what the other actor's name is in that movie.
God, I forgot his name. Anyways, yeah, like they supposedly they didn't go through any of that. Like they basically did their own. That's what they're saying. Like they had to do it like separately, their own like films and stuff like that. But even then, like that's why it's so hard to promote, so hard to hear from. They have to do their own promotion.
Yeah. And
you hear like there's even people saying like, oh, free tickets for the Sound of Freedom, just so you can go watch it.
Yeah. No, they're so basically they have a whole campaign where you can buy tickets for other people to be able to watch it for free if they can't afford to. Because really what we're trying to do with the movie Sound of Freedom is open people's eyes to what goes on and stir up support for the anti-pedophile movement, which is, it's amazing that we have to stir up support for that. It genuinely angers me, I would say, that people don't seem to care. Like, I was actually talking about this with the lady that cuts my hair today. I was telling her about how COVID kind of woke a lot of people up to what's going on behind the scenes and, you know, all the Epstein stuff and whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I'm really glad that, in a way, I'm glad that COVID and lockdowns happened because so many people woke up, but it also really showed you who is perpetually just going to be asleep, because there's so many people that just would not question the narrative, that refused to question the narrative, that took everything in and just believed it. And then on top of that, like when the Epstein stuff came out, the amount of people that like heard about it and then just didn't care immediately after, just went back to watching the Kardashians. Like,
for reals.
It's just, it's insane to me, and it frustrates me and it angers me. And that's kind of why we're here talking about things like this, so that more people can hear about it.
I'm just surprised how that thing was kind of like just, they put it under the carpet so fast. And like how everyone just kind of like, it blew up and then instantly like died.
So actually, one of the things with all of the CIA research that I've been doing, it kind of reinforced and helped me understand a little bit better what Epstein was up to. And so I'll just explain that a little bit. So basically, the reason Epstein is kind of slid under the rug is because Epstein's job was to bring in these powerful people that, you know, wanted money or funding or whatever for whatever projects they were working on, whether they were in the science field, because he was actually tied up with a lot of high-level scientists. He was tied with a lot of different business people, a lot of politicians, all of that. The reason that he was so useful, he was an asset for the powers that be, whether it's the CIA, the FBI, whoever. He was getting these politicians, getting all of these people to come to the island and compromise themselves, essentially, because this was essentially a blackmail ring. And the way this all works is essentially so a lot of people, when they say like, oh, conspiracy theories are crazy because you can't expect all of these people to work together towards this one goal, because inevitably there's going to be some dissent. People are going to disagree.
Right.
They're going to have their own plans and ideas, and they're going to go against someone else, and that's just how people are. But the way they get around that is by forcing all of the people that are up at that level of success to compromise themselves, so that if anyone dissents or if anyone goes against what they want, there's dirt on everyone. It's like a blood pact, essentially, to force everyone to be on the same narrative. Like, if you don't do this, we're going to let everyone know that you sleep with kids.
That's so fucked.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's essentially how that all started. That was actually a strategy of the CIA back in the 80s.
Really?
It was actually because that was when homophobia was a lot more normal. It was like normal to be homophobic, and it was weird to be gay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Back in those days when homosexuality was frowned upon, that's how they would actually compromise American politicians, is by getting them involved. There was, I think it's called the Blue Suit Club. This is some of the research that I've been doing. I think it was called the Blue Suit Club, where essentially it was a club where it was a gay sex orgy, basically. Yeah. And there would be cameras, there would be recordings, there would be all kinds of stuff to get dirt on all the other politicians, so that they would have, and it wasn't even just politicians. I don't want to say it's just politicians, because it's people in all aspects of life, whether it's movie stars, celebrities of all sorts, business people, whatever. If you were going to be an asset of the CIA or of the FBI or the DEA or whatever of the government, then they would need to have something on you, so that if you went against their roles, against their desire, or if you wanted to blow the whistle on things that they were doing, they had something on you, so that you would be disinclined to go against the narrative.
That's so fucked. I mean, what if they don't have anything on you? They just make shit up?
No, it would be a requirement of entry.
To be involved. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think if you hit a certain level of wealthiness, you have to be involved, or they kind of they ask you? So
the way it kind of works is small levels of compromise. So instead of going like, because say they approach us and they're like, hey, we want you to toe our line, but first you got to have sex with a kid. Like, neither of us is going to be down to do that.
Fuck no.
So they slowly but surely increase the level of compromise. So they get you to make small compromises to your morals gradually. It's grooming, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. So they groom you to the point of where
you're like it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah. They gradually bring you closer and closer and closer to selling your soul, essentially, through small compromises.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. And you can kind of see it with like humiliation rituals. This is more of a conspiracy theory type thing. I think it's legit because it's one of the only things that explains how all this happens. So actually, Dave Chappelle is a really good example of this. He was supposed to be in a movie. This is before, he went crazy and moved to Africa for 10 years. So Dave Chappelle had Comedy Central. He was doing his Chappelle show on Comedy Central. And they were going to offer him $50 million for the next deal. But he knew that $50 million was tied to a lot of stuff that he might not be on board for.
Right.
And an example of this is he tells this story all the time, or at least he used to. There's an interview where he was telling this story. Basically, he was supposed to be in a movie, and in this movie or a skit or whatever it was, they wanted him to wear a dress.
Oh, I heard about
and
that
act
one.
like a girl, or like play a woman in this show. And it's really interesting that you see this too. Is it's evidence of the emasculating black men and emasculate.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's evidence of the emasculation strategies that have been going on for I don't know how many decades at this point, but where you see a lot of men, black men, oftentimes, especially like Eddie Murphy in Norbit, in all kinds of other movies. There's what else?
Even
Big Mama's House with
that.
What's his name? Martin Lawrence.
Yeah. Even with Robin Williams.
Yep, Robin Williams in Miss Doubtfire.
Yep.
All of these different subtle ways that they're emasculating men. They're making a joke of manhood essentially. And then even in like just regular media where you have a dad, but he's always stepped on by his family. That type of stuff. But anyways, I digress. Go back to the story. Basically, Dave Chappelle was given this script where he's supposed to put on a dress and act like a woman. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. And they're like, come on, man. It's just like this one thing, blah, blah, blah. They keep pushing, but he doesn't budge. And finally, they're like, all right, fine. They leave for like, an hour or something like that. And they come back with a whole new script where he doesn't have to wear the dress.
Yeah. I've seen that one.
What, did they write a new script in that hour that they were gone? No, they had a whole script prepared in case he didn't want to wear the dress. And they were really trying to push him to wear the dress.
God. So you think it's like a trickling, like it just kind of goes like, let's say like the person that writes the script, right? Mm-hmm. Someone tells them, hey, you need to include this, right?
Yeah.
Which would be what, the CIA or who influences that type of like
that decision? That's where it gets into muddy waters because whose goal is it to emasculate men?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's where you get back into this ideological subversion that we were talking about with Yuri Bezmenov, where the KGB is trying to demoralize the American people. And I would say that the demoralization happened in school. It's the indoctrination of all of these, Yale and Harvard and film school type people, LA, UCLA, in the industries that are supposed to be progressive, like Yuri Bezmenov was talking about, these progressive industries, these progressive schools, and they're pushing all of this ideology about, men need to be more emotional, which not necessarily. Men don't need to be more emotional. They need to understand their emotions.
Exactly.
But an emotional man is not something you really want. You want a man who's in control of his emotions. A man that understands and is in control of his emotions is much more powerful than an emotional man, because an emotional man is the type of guy that's going to beat you at home or shoot up a school, or like that's literally like men when they get crazy emotional and they just let their emotions out like that. Men are typically more physically violent when it comes to their emotions.
What do you think
there's that's what school shootings are. It's like there's one female that's ever shot up a school.
Really? I've never heard about it.
The one that happened recently, the trans chick. You didn't hear about that one?
Yes, that was a guy.
Where, no, it was a female that transitioned to a guy. Pretty sure, female to male transition.
Got you. Just couldn't handle him.
Or she was transitioning. I don't know if she completed it.
Wow.
But anyways,
I remember that. That was brutal. I mean, they fucking just wasted the whole clip on her, didn't they?
I don't know if they wasted the whole clip, but they were in there.
Oh, I know.
Because Uvalde, Texas happened where that wasn't a trans kid, but it was a kid went in and all the cops are just sitting there outside like scared.
Pussies.
And that's another evidence of just like emasculation of men. Like those are cops in Texas. Like you would expect
Out of all the states.
A Texas police officer is going to be a lot more like run and gun.
Yeah.
Take out this guy that's killing children.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there scared with riot shields, using hand sanitizer, washing their hands.
Camping.
Just like it's a video game or some shit. Yeah. Like,
they're scared.
That was amazing to me. But because that happened, these dudes that I can't remember what state it was in that the trans shooter happened. But anyways, because of that, they were like, we're not going to be the example of that. We're not going to be the laughing stock of the country.
Everyone applauded when they saw this.
When they saw this, they were, well, no, actually the left, some people on the left, not the entire left, a lot of people on the left, afterwards, they held up the number 7.
What the fuck does that mean?
Because this trans person killed 6 kids, but then the trans person also died.
Oh.
So they counted the trans person in the 7 as they're a victim too.
How old was that person?
I think they were like 23, like in their 20s. Shot up a Christian school. Like, this is obviously a target.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, did this person go to that school?
I think they did. They were also targeting a different school, but didn't go for some reason. I think there was like a police officer outside the school already or something like that. But they had plans apparently to target another school. That didn't happen, so they targeted this school. But both were Christian schools. Anyways,
this might sound silly, but sometimes when I see shit like this, I'm like, do you think it was all on purpose? You think it was like some mind control shit that, like, you know how you said like the CIA back in the day, MK Ultra, they try to control people to do things, and then like snap, like they hear some sound or something, and it kind of.
No, that one was. I don't think so. I don't think they have like the sleeper agent type thing.
Sometimes I feel like it's just weird.
Actually, that being said, there is one case. I can't remember what the name of the guy was, but he was a soldier in the Air Force, I believe. And this was one of the scientists that worked on MK Ultra. He was a psychiatrist at a military base. Mm-hmm. And so one time there's this couple, it's like super hot out and they didn't have AC or something. So they wanted to go to a bar and have a drink or something. And they let their kids play outside. I think like the kids were in the parking lot. There was a girl and a boy. And at some point this soldier, well, anyway, the parents come out and the daughter's gone. And so they all go looking for her, and then these construction workers are working next to a park, and they see this soldier with scratches all over him and blood on him. And he's like walking out of the park or out of the woods in a daze. And then they go in the woods because these people are all looking for this little girl, and they find the girl. She was raped and killed. And she was like 3 years old or something. But the soldier walking out, he was like in a daze, like couldn't remember anything, couldn't remember how he got there. Didn't even remember his own name, all kinds of stuff. And apparently he had gone to see this psychiatrist that had been working on MK Ultra. And the idea is that the psychiatrist was experimenting on these soldiers because apparently this guy had severe migraines like before all of this happened. And that's why he was seeing the psychiatrist, is because he had severe migraines. And yeah.
You know, it's funny.
So it's possible that they have like the sleeper agent type thing.
I feel like they've, I mean, for so many years that you think that they would continue to study and you know, all that stuff, you know, the testing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have somehow perfected it in some way.
Now, publicly, officially, all of the testing that they did for MK Ultra never came to any conclusion. Like none of their research was actually fruitful. It was never successful according to the official information. Now then you hear this story and you understand that was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and
makes you think like what?
Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe they just aren't telling us. Maybe they said it was a failure just to cover up the fact that they figured it out.
Right. I mean, and they also release what has been unclassified to what is classified. You know what I'm saying? They can't show you all the stuff that hasn't been released or unclassified. You know what I'm saying? And
all their documents are full of redacted information. Like, you know, when they come out and they have all the black highlighter over words and stuff. Yeah, they redact everything.
Yeah. It's so funny that we're talking about this because, you know, taking this psychology class that I'm taking right now, it gets into the behavioral and like learning and tapping into the unconscious mind. And it's so funny how we got to the part where it's like it takes 66 days to like basically build a habit, or you start eating fruit before you eat, or you run a mile before you go and have some dinner or something like that. If you do it just easy, something super easy for 66 days, it becomes a habit, and trying to stop doing that habit is going to cost you more than doing that habit. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be easier doing what you like doing something new, and that's easier than stopping, basically. So if you want to stop that habit that you started, it's going to be a little bit harder than starting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they said it's a little bit more for exercise, maybe like 3 months for exercising.
Honestly, I'd say that's generally true, but also I think, because I've tried this before I got really heavy in the gym now, like I am, maybe a year prior to me getting back at it, and because I've been, consistent in the gym for about 2.5 years now.
Okay.
But about a year prior to starting on the bender that I'm on now, I had also started getting into the gym with that idea in mind, like it takes 60 days, 90 days to build a habit. And I did. I was super consistent. I went like 90 days, extremely consistent. And then because I had that idea in my mind of I need to build the habit and then I'll just do it, after that, like 90 days was up, granted, other stuff happened in my life that like stuff came up and things got in the way, and just time wise, it wasn't as easy as it was before. I just let go of the habit, and it was really easy to let go of the habit. I don't even know how I let go. I don't remember exactly what it is that stopped me from working out, but yeah, I just let the habit die.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah, like supposedly it's like you still have like thoughts, like you feel like you like resent about the fact that you haven't been going to the gym or something like that. You start feeling like kind of like like a tweaker,
anxiety.
Yeah. You start feeding for it, but then again, it's like if you give yourself 3 or 4 days past that like routine habit, you start like that's when it starts affecting you, and then you're like, fuck, I haven't gone to the gym. Oh man, I'm eating like shit. Oh man, I feel weak. I'm losing muscle.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I think I had gotten back into a relationship at that time. That's why I stopped, is because like other things, like the dopamine of a relationship and the things that come with that, overtook the dopamine that I was getting from the gym. I think that might be part of it. But also I started with the intent of, I just need to build the habit and then it'll be easy. And then once I built the habit, I just like stopped caring as much. You know what I mean? Like once I got past the 90-day mark, I was like, all right, it should be easy from now. And I just like stopped putting in that effort. And even now it's like there's days that I don't want to go to the gym, but I go anyway because that's what you got to do.
Same. Yeah. There's days where I'm just like, maybe I should take a rest. And I hear I'm like scrolling through like TikTok when I'm like about to fall asleep, and I hear this motivation. I was like, fuck. Then I have to get up and go.
I think when it comes to physical activity, like going to the gym or like real physical exertion, it's always going to be easier to not do it than to do it. No matter how many days you've been, building in the habit. And yes, there's going to be some like physical and mental withdrawal symptoms if you don't go for a few days. Like you're going to have that anxiety and a little bit of depression. Like, man, I haven't gone to the gym. I need to go to the gym, blah, 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 blah. But I would say that with physical exertion and physical activities like that, especially if you're really pushing yourself when you go to the gym, I think it's always going to be a little bit of war inside yourself where you're like, I don't want to go, I need to go, I want to go, but I don't want to go because it's hard, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, the whole idea of your body is to be comfortable. It wants to play safe. It wants to be in a little cocoon, a little, comfortable, warm, cozy spot.
Exactly.
The sooner you step out into that, the leap of faith, I guess you can say, and get out of your comfort zone, that's where like magic starts to happen.
Yeah. And I can't remember what law it is, but one of Newton's laws is that body in motion tends to stay in motion. Body at rest tends to stay at rest. Your body is going to want to do whatever it's doing currently. So it's going to take some effort to change the momentum that you're already in.
Right.
That being said, if you build the momentum towards something that you want to be doing, then it'll be a lot easier to maintain that momentum and build that momentum even further once you start. Once you take that first step, it's a lot easier to take the second step. Once you've taken 1,000 steps, it's a lot easier to just take 10 more because it's only 10 more. You've already taken 1,000.
Exactly.
You know?
If you're already there, might as well finish it.
Exactly. So,
but that's funny. So now, if you want to trick someone into doing something, you reward. You know how the treats like with dogs.
Oh yeah, Pavlov.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, dude, it's
Pavlov
so funny.
is great scientist. All of that works so well to reward behavior. Reward is a much better suggestion mechanism and mechanism of control than punishment.
It takes a lot of patience, though, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Patience is definitely a virtue in every aspect of life.
And like I actually saw a quote. It's like it's not the fact that you have patience; it's on how you control your mood when you're in patience.
Yes.
And it's like, ooh, like that's good because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you might be patient, but inside of your head, you're fucking like rambling words during the situation. But it's like your mood, like what mood are you in when you're actually being patient?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was amazing how, like, even portray it in TV. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
The show. So there's a scene where the girl that they know. And Sheldon, which is like the super like science nerd, he's like basically rewarding this chick with like chocolates. He's like, "Hey, you want to close the door for me?" And then she's like, "What? Like, why do I have to?" And then like he kind of shows a box of chocolates because he's been doing that repeatedly. And she closes the door. He's like, "Good job," and like tosses the chocolate. He's like, "Thank you." And like for every little thing, like she's being rewarded by chocolate. And until like her boyfriend catches on, he's like, Are you training my girlfriend to do things for you, or like basically he's like, what do you mean? I'm just giving her some chocolates. But like it like they basically explained.
I think I remember that because
you seen that one?
Yeah, I think I have. I may have either seen that episode or seen like just a clip reel of like every time he rewarded her, and then at the very end, it was that conversation. He was like, "Are you training my girlfriend?" And he's like, "No, not at all." Like. And they have an argument, and then eventually they drop it. And then turns out he was also training his friend, the boyfriend of the girl, with some other thing, like, you want to play Halo or something like that. Like,
yeah, he tried on him. He's like, whoa. Like, he's like,
wait a minute.
Yeah. And then actually at the end, before that ended, the episode ended, it's like the girl was going to sleep over the house, and he's like, oh, you got to keep it down, blah, 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 blah. And then the girl's like, well, why? Like, we basically live here too, blah, blah, blah. And he tossed the chocolate. And he's like, all right, we'll be quiet. And then like the guy's like, how come we don't just go in your place and we can be as loud as we want? Basically portraying like having sex,
Yeah.
And then like the girl's like, I like the idea. And they both leave, and he stands there. He's like, So it turns out that sex basically has a higher like advantage on like other chocolate and other stuff. Like, yeah,
absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. It's like the prime human motivation.
Exactly.
Procreation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. I was like,
interesting. Yeah. But yeah, all of that, the mind control stuff, the Pavlovian processes that work on people, those are all scary if used the wrong way.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has been funded by the CIA, funded by the government, because they just want to control people. Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
That's why TikTok is such a highly talked about topic, because I feel they know that we're being somewhat brainwashed and controlled, and
it influences culture.
Exactly.
Like TikTok has severely influenced culture. Like it's amazing when you recognize, because I don't really go on TikTok. We have a TikTok for the podcast that I have not touched in a while. I open TikTok when people send me things, and then I leave. I just don't use TikTok at all. We need to start posting clips on TikTok, honestly.
We should.
We really do need to do that, because that would help boost the podcast. But I just have not been on TikTok really at all. That's just an effort that I need to start putting in. But anyways, it's really interesting, because I'm talking to this girl, right? And she's not, I wouldn't say she's always on TikTok. She's not on TikTok a ton, but I definitely know that she is on TikTok because of certain like references that she'll make. And like, she'll be like, oh, you haven't seen that? And like, she'll pull up TikTok and show me something. And I'm like, No, I haven't seen that.
I'm sorry. When you said that, I was imagining. Have you seen that? Fuck, dude. Like, even me, I'm like hooked as fuck. But there's a TikTok about this guy that basically is doing like those fucking thanks for the like, and he does his little dance.
Oh my, the NPC videos. I've heard of those because it goes. Granted, I am on Instagram, so like I do waste time on Instagram. Not saying that I never waste time on my phone, because I definitely do. I waste a little more time than I'd like to admit on Instagram. But yeah, that TikTok bleeds over into other apps.
Oh yeah.
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 And I've seen that on Instagram, the NPC trend. I still don't know what it is. I just know that it's a thing where people are like acting like NPCs, I guess.
It's so weird, yeah.
I don't know.
It's
freaky.
You got
it's
grown
freaky.
ass man acting childish.
Yeah,
and
it's
weird.
It's like, as much as I want to boost the podcast and promote our stuff in more places, the more of the internet I see, the more I want to be off the internet.
Dude, for real.
It's bad. It's bad.
Are we going to be roasted? Are we going to be canceled?
I'm not worried about being roasted or canceled. I'm worried about being psyoped. That's what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried about getting sucked in.
I know, right? Then we start fucking wearing dresses on the set and shit.
Just being influenced by things that I really don't want influencing. Like, the information you consume is a diet, just like the food you consume. If you're drinking alcohol all day, every day, you're going to be a drunkard. If you're on TikTok all day, every day, you're going to be an NPC. Like, that's what's happening. And you're just going to have
walking memes, bro.
Yeah, basically at this point. And yeah, to a degree, you can curate your own experience, because it's going to show you the things that you focus more on. So if you focus mostly on philosophical type things or workout videos or things that are productive, then you're going to get shown the things that are productive more often than not. Exactly. That being said, they do still have the trending page and all types of different things that are built to play on your natural human desires, like sex and whatnot, because that's what draws more attention. It's very pernicious. It's very subversive.
Right. Yeah. Like a lot of my stuff that's coming out on my feed is now it's hella crazy. Now all that comes out is like, Christian accounts, Bible verses and stuff like that. What else? Like working out, fighting videos, boxing routines, like stuff like that, And then before, when I barely had my TikTok account, it was mostly like, people either dancing, like dance moves, certain music. What else? Like girls in their fucking bikinis and shit, like shaking their ass, like shit like that. I was like, what is all this? And then Lee Mac told me, he's like, oh, it's what you like look up and this and that.
It's not what you look up. It's what you spend the most time watching.
I was like, watching that.
Like if you're swiping, and you spend a half second longer on that girl in a bikini, it's going to show you more of that girl in the bikini.
When you said that, I was like, damn, bro, sometimes I fall asleep to this shit,
Yeah, see, you got to get off that when you're going to bed, bro.
No, for real. It's
going to get you in trouble, too.
Yeah.
Like if you're popping up with bikini girls all the time, then your girl's going to be like, what are you on TikTok watching?
For real. No, I don't be watching that anymore.
Like you just said, to give you credit, you did just say it's workout videos and scriptures.
Oh, now? Yeah.
Now.
It's just like once I feel like
when you first download the app, they're going to show you what's popular.
Exactly.
And most people are not curating it themselves. They're letting it curate to them.
Yeah. And then I'm just, with TikTok, it's just weird. I watched the whole damn video just because I feel bad for just kind of like scrolling through. Like sometimes like my lady's just like scrolling through. I was like, yo, it's like 2 seconds in the video. She's like, it was boring. I was like, damn.
That's another thing that's insane is TikTok has actually reduced the attention span of most people. So most people are not watching this whole podcast. They're not listening to the whole podcast. Most people are just, I know, right? Don't worry. Most people won't hear us say that.
It's okay. Yeah, that's right. You made it this far.
If you made it this far, you're a true fan.
I'll send you $100.
I ain't sending nobody $100, right? We ain't made no money from this yet.
I made a comment on a TikTok account. Apparently, this guy basically put a grand, like $1,000, in a case, and he went to go hide it in Tahoe. And it's like, oh, it's gonna be in this location, this and that. Good luck. Hope you find it. Blah blah. Okay, my dumbass, bro. I was tired and just being a dick. I was like, just 1,000?
Just 1,000?
I'm not gonna go to Tahoe looking for this fucking suitcase. Like,
man, if I had seen it, and depending on how long prior, like how recently it had been posted, I might have gone and checked that out. Because if I'm like the first or second person to see that, and he posted it 5 minutes ago, you best believe I'm driving down to Tahoe for $1,000.
It wasn't that long ago, actually. Well, it's kind of funny.
How many people have seen it at this point?
I mean, everyone in fucking Reno.
When did you see this?
Like 2-3 days ago.
Oh yeah, it's gone now. There's no way. Ain't no way, bro.
It was kind of funny because it's like, how much have you given? And I was like, 0.
0.
It's like, how much you give away this week? And I was like, damn, bitch. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that.
That is one way to gain followers. Just 1,000. Just 1,000.
He's like, he has a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, and it kind of shows you.
Oh.
See David Goggins in the back. Who's gonna carry the boats? The fucking suitcase.
He's for those that are watching. I know you guys can't see the screen right now, but the dude's in the woods, and he was like at a fork in the road because the area this guy is going to. He's saying that you can't drive there. You have to go on foot. Though that being said, my roommate, shout out to Tim, his Jeep could definitely get there once it's finished, at least, because he's currently building a cage around a Jeep, and it's one of the most badass things ever. We'll show it at some point.
Like, I don't know who this guy is, and I feel bad now for saying that. Like, I didn't mean it that way. Like, just 1,000. I meant it more as in like,
yeah, you did. You know what you meant.
I meant it more as like, damn, like, am I really gonna go out there just looking for this damn box? Or
I mean, like, you're not gonna do a few hours worth of work for $1,000? Go hike in the beautiful Tahoe forest?
Never been there.
Shut the hell up.
I'm being dead ass honest. Never.
Are you serious?
I mean, for real.
Tahoe is beautiful.
I've never been there. And
I work out there sometimes.
I know you told me.
Yeah, that. It's beautiful. It's definitely worth it to just go and walk there.
Okay, I'm gonna take my dog.
Yeah, you should.
This week,
definitely should.
Yeah, I think I should.
It's a good idea. Yeah, that is so entitled, Carlos. Just 1,000 to go on a walk for 4 hours in Tahoe to find $1,000. You're gonna pay me $1,000 to maybe find this thing? Like, bro, what? That's terrible.
I find the fucking box.
I know.
It's like, great. Now I have to meet this guy.
Now I have $1,000. How shitty.
I was like, you know what, dude? Double it, give it to the next person. Oh man, no, but I saw that and I was like, it's like, oh, I mean that's cool, but like just 1,000.
Yeah, someone else commented on his comment because he commented on this just 1,000.
It was the guy that owns the page.
Oh, the guy that owns the page said that to you?
He told me that, and I'm like, fuck, dude. That seemed like a dick.
That's even better.
He's like, how much are you giving away this week? This is the creator. And then $0.
$0. Damn, Carlos. Yeah, take that L. You should. I'm gonna make an L out of steel and let you frame it, hang it on the wall.
That's hilarious. I just thought that was hilarious. I didn't mean it that way. I just meant like, damn, like.
How else could you have meant that?
I feel like I said that because it's like. I mean, I have no no context. Like it's like I imagine Tahoe like hella big and like impossible to find.
He told you what street to go on.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and then what fork in the road to go. He told you how to get. He gave you a map, a video map of how to get there, and you're like, "Damn, only $1,000."
Like if it was like 100,000, bro, I'd be right now there.
Well, yeah, but like, who's giving? Mr. Beast isn't giving away $100,000 to one person.
You're not wrong.
This dude ain't Mr. Beast. It's some guy that's copying Mr. Beast.
Okay, what if we do that?
I mean, we could.
I
couldn't right now.
SumYungGuys podcast.
Financially, there's no way. I could do $100.
We could do $500.
We could do $500. We could do $500.
We hide it somewhere in Reno.
Somewhere in Reno?
Some random person has to find it. It's gonna be. We give them like some clues.
Okay.
And then they can either double it, give it to the next person.
See, the thing is, I'm not giving anyone $1,000 right now. I'm not in a financial situation right now to do that.
You know, okay, thanks
that.
a lot. Now I feel like a dick because of what I said to this guy.
Yeah, it's $1,000.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, if I found that $1,000, then yeah, I would double it and give it to the next person. We would do $500, and then we'd double it and give it to the next person, and we gained and lost nothing. Well, actually, we probably gained followers.
Ooh, that'd be nice, actually.
Yeah. So just $1,000.
Maybe even gift cards. You know, like
yeah, gift cards are great.
Like
giveaways are a great way to build hype.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it. My buddy made some followers like that, and he started getting paid like $10 or something. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Giveaways are a good way to build hype. But anyways, I think we have digressed greatly from the original topic of the podcast, but we're 45 minutes in. I think that's probably
That was good.
a good point to stop on that note.
Absolutely. I think we should. And then we'll just follow it. We'll continue it next week.
Yes. Yes. We could get a little bit more into the weeds on the CIA, but honestly, I'm kind of thinking, since you started talking about Pavlov, it reminded me of the Milgram rat experiments, which I don't know if you've heard of those.
Yep.
Those are kind of horrifying for what they mean for human society as well as like just rat society, like how, because he built a society of rats and like had a upper class, a middle class, a low class, and just let them do whatever. And then the way it turned out was kind of terrifying. So I might research that as I continue to watch this guy's YouTube channel about the CIA, because I really want to finish his series, but he's not done building the series yet. So remember, Eyes Wide Open is the name of the YouTube channel. Please go check him out because his content is actually phenomenal. I'm going to try and find a way to maybe get him on the podcast if that's possible.
Shit, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great. A Discord call with him would be awesome.
That would be, yeah.
He's got a pretty big following, and I doubt he really has all that much time for that. But regardless, it would be cool. I'll see if I can.
It's like a 5-10 minute call.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But yeah, and like I said before, we do have a couple of people that are down to come on and be guests here. So I'm gonna work on that. Maybe we'll see. We'll see when we can make that happen. But anyways, it's been fun, guys.
It's been very fun. This is an awesome podcast.
It is.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks again for joining us. For those who are listening,
and for those that are watching, sorry you had to suffer through our ugly faces. But yeah, all right. Peace, guys.
Later.